I would assume you know that the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what are you hiding from? So, that beautiful song by Martin, uh, the first time I heard it, and by the way, you can go online, go to YouTube, put in. By the way, the song, I thought the title was Reach Out of the Darkness. Did you change it?
I could never decide.
Well, on YouTube, if you put in Reach Out of the Darkness, you'll find it. And you get to see that concert with the whole band. It's just fascinating. It's beautiful. So I want to start with the lyrics because I said to Martin in the car on the way here, I said, you know, your song, last week we did a song called My Declaration, and we declared what our year was going to be, or what we wanted to bring forth. And this is not so much a declaration, but this is a calling. This is a beautiful statement that says to us, we must be willing to allow ourselves to feel what we feel, no matter what. Whatever is going on, we must be willing to stand in our God self and reach into it and allow it to bring forth what it wants to bring forth. So these lyrics, if we don't say, then we won't know how we really feel. If we don't speak our mind, if we don't say what is going on inside of us, if we are afraid to let out what it is we know, then we're just going to push it back and push it in and never get the benefits of whatever it is. If we don't say, then we won't know how we really feel. If we don't cry, then we won't grow, and we may never heal. Those are such brilliant lyrics, Martin. If we don't cry, we won't grow. We may never heal. How often have we been told, unfortunately, growing up, men don't cry? No need to show your emotions. You know, I had a musical called An Unfinished Song, and I am a very emotional person, and I've never had a problem crying. Although I was told my whole childhood that it made me weak, and that I was weak. And it was one of the reasons why I was called a sissy, and many other reasons. But that reason was that I also cried, and that meant I was a sissy. And I had a musical that I wrote, An Unfinished Song, and it was done in New York and Maine and Los Angeles, and it got done in Australia. And when I went to see it in Australia, they changed the ending. Without asking, they changed the ending. Now, the ending was a very emotional ending where this man's ashes were strewn into the ocean. It was the entire point of the entire play, the releasing of the ashes, releasing all that we were holding on to that didn't work, all the anger, all the might have beens, just releasing it all. They decided that was the moment that should be cut from the play. And I'm sitting watching the show, and it was an enormous success in Australia, even bigger than the United States. It was running for months. Then they flew me over to see it and to be there for the closing. And I'm watching it, and I'm involved, and the play's going great. And then the end of the play happens, and suddenly they're not on the beach. They're not singing my signature song, We Were Here, to throw the ashes. They're back in the apartment packing up, singing the song. And I was like, what just happened? Oh my God, my play didn't end. It never ended. And then the curtain came in, and it was over. No one threw the ashes away. And the audience stood up and screamed, and I went, well, what do I know? And afterwards, the director, who was hiding, because he was. I'm at the party. I'm like, did anyone see the director? They went, oh, he's somewhere. But he was literally hiding because he had a feeling I might have a question. And so I finally found him, and I was like, I just have one question, because I know the ashes. And I was like, what happened? He went, the producer said, we're not Americans over here. You're way too emotional over there. It would have never played here. We just didn't want to do the ashes thing. I was like, well, the residuals are still good, so we're good. And then I flew home and called my agent and said, please put a rider on this document that says anyone producing this play has no right to change one word. And if they do, they can be sued. You know, just a litigious American. If we don't cry, then we won't grow, we may never heal. What are you still holding inside? What are you afraid to cry over? Crying is important. Tears are important. Tears of joy. I had tears just listening to him sing Hallelujah and singing Reach Out in the Darkness. I want those tears to come, you know? reach out to the darkness, there's always something real inside. And the darkness isn't some dark space. My sense of the darkness is reach out to the unknown. Allow yourself to step into the dark and not be afraid of what might be there. But just be willing. Be willing this year to have the vision to be able to go anywhere, do anything, speak to anyone, step into any aspect of your life, and know it is good. No matter what shows up, it is good. Can we do that? We must do that. And then the last line of the song, what are we hiding from? What are we hiding from? You know, I don't think of myself as someone who hides much. I don't. And yet, I realize that there's a lot about me that I do hide from. There are things about myself that I don't necessarily address because I'm so content and happy with the person I've created. And yet, isn't there more for me to create, more for me to know? So if you're sitting here thinking, well, I'm not hiding from anything, allow yourself to get that arrogance out of the way, because I have, in looking at this talk and in this song, to just start asking myself, what am I hiding from? What am I afraid to step into? What am I still not doing that is mine to do? Carl Jung said this, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. So as we go into this month, this year of vision, I think it's very important for us to ask ourselves, are we willing to not just see what's going on, but to see what's going on? Are we willing to call ourselves out on things about ourselves that we would perhaps like to change or do better, let's say? Yesterday was the first welcome home of the year, and on my way here, I realized, and I had said to Kevin earlier, that coming here on a Saturday to spend the entire day in spiritual practice doesn't feel like a job. It didn't feel like a job yesterday. I started with the spirit breath meditation with a beautiful group of people, and my heart just exploded. And then I ended the day with Heather and Jason chanting Your Authentic Voice, and I just sat there going, this is the greatest gift to myself. Yes, it is part of our center and what we do, but I'm not here for any reason other than to practice my own spiritual practice. And it was just amazing. And I realized as I did this, something came to me, and I was surprised when it happened. But as I was sitting in my own first meditation, a thought came to me, and it was, you need to be kinder. Now, I got to be honest, as soon as I heard you should be kinder, I was like, really? I am like the kindest person I know. I was saying that to myself, not to the rest of the room. Don't you think I'm kind? But I heard it, and I was like, I see I get it. I do need to be kinder in my approach, not my teaching approach, by the way, students, but in my approach to life, in my approach to just everyday living, kinder. You know, I don't know if kind comes up for you when you think of me, but when I think of me, kind isn't the first thing I think of. I think creative, I think talent, I think intelligence. There are many things I think of the positive parts of me. Kind was not something that would automatically come to my head, although I am kind. But I can be kinder. You know, and then Martin showed up with his family yesterday. He has 3 amazing children that are so animated, so alive. But they're 3, well, first of all, his one son, it was the middle son, who is Lewis. The doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there's Lewis, who looks exactly like Martin. I was like, did you shrink? He was like this little, and he went, hello, we are here. I was like, I see that. And it was just, you know, such love and energy came into my house with him and Tara and his 3 children. And, you know, we started talking about they are a Bahai family. It's what made me realize I needed to redo all of my versions of what these religions are. And we talked about Baha'i. And kindness is like high on the list of what the Bahai Faith is all about. So it was interesting that I had that moment here yesterday, and then they showed up, and we talked about kindness and generosity, you know? So if you're sitting here today, one of the messages I am giving in this new year is that we all need to be kinder to one another, but more importantly, kinder to ourselves. So I wrote that yesterday. I wrote that this morning. The Bahai Faith, through daily prayer and meditation, we develop and sustain an unbreakable relationship with God's attributes of kindness, generosity, integrity, truthfulness, humility, and selfless service to others. That sounds like a recipe for a beautiful life, if I were to really take it and live it the way I know Martin and his family does. You know, I talk a lot about the idea of what is God and the idea of I am God. And the truth is, there is only God. That's all there is. There's nothing else but God. Every religion, every walk, every pathway, every philosophy, it's all God. It's energy, it's intelligence. That's what it all is. And therefore, there was a beautiful quote yesterday. I think it was Buddha, it might have been Rumi. I do not have God's heart in me. I live in God's heart. Just think about the difference of that. I do not have God's heart in me. I live in God's heart. That's what I am God means. I am that space, that place. I don't go find it. God is not outside of me, except that God is outside of me because it's everywhere. I do not have God's heart in me. I live in God's heart. The title of my talk today is, What Do You See? Now, I'd like you to take a look and tell me what you see. Anybody see it yet? What do you see? Yeah, there's a grasshopper, but you don't see the wolf? Now, do you see the wolf? Does everybody see the wolf now? Okay, let's go to the second one. What do you see? It's a monkey and a lion, but and it's also a tree with some birds, right? Do you all see it? Who doesn't see the monkey and the lion? Okay, you don't see it yet? There is the lion. See it now? And give me the next one. Who sees the baby? Keep looking, everyone. See the baby? So the title of my talk is, What Will You See? What will you see? You may see a baby. You may see a lover, two lovers under a beautiful tree. You may see a lion and whatever that other thing was. Gorilla. And you may have good memory. And you may see a different tree that was on that one. You know, you may see a caterpillar. You may see a grasshopper. You may see a lion. You may see a lot of different things. Vision is different for all people. It is individual. Your vision of your life should not be what someone else's vision of your life is. Your vision of your life should also not be something that you are doing because this is what you are told to do. You know, this center steps into 2020 and becomes its own individual center, no longer a part of some group telling it how it should be, but a brand new, vibrant, independent center that sets its standards based on how each of us individually come forward. That's what this year gets to be like. That's what it becomes to be in the vision of your life. So this is an important time for us as a community and as individuals to see exactly what our vision of our life is. Salvador Dali said, surrealism destroys only what it considers to be shackles limiting our vision. Surrealism destroys only what it considers to be shackles limiting our vision. So I love surrealism. I love Yves Tanguy, the French artist. I love Monet, not Monet. I love Monet, but I love Seurat, all those dots. That if you're up close, it's a bunch of dots. But as you back up, it's just this gorgeous painting. Sunday in the Park with George, the Broadway show, was written about that painting, Sunday in the Park. And when you go to Chicago, the Art Institute, to see that painting, when you step up the steps of the Chicago Art Institute, there it is, far away. And it's magnificent. And the closer you get, the lesser it becomes. And if you get really close to it, it's just a bunch of dots. You have to step back to get a perspective on what you're looking at. So today is an important time to get in touch with our true vision. It's an important time for us to take a look at the surrealism that our life may be, the craziness that it may be, the collection of dots that we may have all over the place, but we're so in it that we don't know what those dots represent. We're like standing in the middle of this surrealistic, artistic thing, and we can't get our grasp of what it is that's going on in our lives. How is it turning out? How is it showing up? Is it coming together? Is it making sense? Is my life making sense? Well, we need to step back into our spiritual practice, into remembering who we are, so that we can actually see that not only does it make sense, that everything that has happened from the moment I was born till this very moment has come together to create an amazing tapestry, a beautiful piece of art called me, called you. Now the question is, are we going to stay here and still be able to create, or are we going to consistently run up here and get confused? Or are we going to do this? I know who I am. I keep who I am. I can walk right into the surrealism, into all the dots, know exactly what they are, and continue painting, as Seurat was able to do. Because he had to be close to that thing, that canvas, to be able to put the dots in order with the vision of knowing this is what this painting is. That's your job. I know what my life is because I envision it. I have it here. I have it here. I know who I am. I know what my life is about. It is a kinder life. It is a gentler life. It is a more involved life. It is a deeper life. It is a life that allows me to be free and create from the very depth of my being, whatever comes through me. And I'm right here with all of the dots moving because I took the truth of who I am and I brought it into my life. So the question, what will you see? Well, frankly, you're going to see whatever you envision. It starts from the vision. So what is your vision? What becomes your vision for 2020? I'd like to call this year the year of mindful innocence. Just think about that. Mindful innocence. And I thought about this morning because of Martin's children as I watched them running around the house last night. And I loved when his son came up to me and said, "Would it be possible for us to use the hot tub?" And in that little Canadian English accent, and I said, "You can totally use the hot tub, but it's a cold tub right now." And he said, "No, it's a hot tub." I said, "No, but the water's cold." He goes, "But it's a hot tub." I said, "But it's cold water." I said, "Let me show you." I showed him. It was 57 degrees. And he was like, "Well, what's it going to take to get it hot?" So I pushed a button and I went, "It will be in about an hour. It will be about 90 degrees. He went, "Okay." And then every 5 minutes, "What is it now?" And it was like 57, 59, 62. I remember at one point it got to like 68. He went, "Is that good?" I went, No, you're not going to like it. And then I just kept saying, "Go out and touch it." And they'd go out and touch the water. But then it did become 90 and went up to 102 finally. And so they all got in the hot tub. I did not. But at one point, they screamed into me. I was pulling Christmas down in the living room, and I guess it was Lewis, who said, "Watch me." I actually thought he said, how old is Lewis? I thought this little 7-year-old yelled into me in the living room saying, "Could we have music out here?" He didn't say that. He said, "Watch me do this." So I came out, and he jumped from the hot tub into 57-degree pool. swam all the way across and did it about 15 times. Yeah. And I was like, I can't believe you're doing that. That's amazing. He's like, why? It's just water. I was like, amazing. So I thought about this innocence, this innocence that we all have, but we're not so mindful of. We don't remember it sometimes. We don't feel innocent. We feel kind of jaded. Anybody here feel jaded a little bit? Sure, you're not going to raise your hand now. I do at times. I feel jaded. I live my life a little bit jaded. I know what this is going to be, so I don't do it. I know that I don't like this. You know what? Stop knowing you don't like things. God, even as I say that, I know this is going to come back at me. I'm going to have to eat things I don't like. But truthfully, yes, stop thinking you know what you don't like. Try it again. Maybe you'll like it this time. I love beets now. I hated beets then. Oh my God, I remember once sitting at my kitchen table till 8 or 9 at night because I wasn't allowed up from that table till I ate the beets, and it was a standoff. I was like, I can do this until I have to go to school tomorrow morning. And then if you miss school, I win again. But I just sat there and I did not eat those beets. Now I love beets, so you got my point. Okay. The year of mindful innocence. So I've got 5 things for you. You don't have to write them down. You can go back and listen to this talk. Or, Sherry, where are you, Sherry? Sherry, would you remind me to put these on the website? This is for the year. Mindful innocence. Number 1, don't know so much. You all good with that? Don't know so much. Number 2, cultivate wonder. Cultivate wonder. Start having the wonder of what the world is all about. 3, allow your passion. If you are passionate about something, let it be. Allow it. Allow yourself to be passionate. And if the passion starts to come up, don't push it down because it seems inappropriate. Mostly. I heard that and I went, well, no. Just let the passion come up. Deal with it responsibly. So, 3, allow your passion. Number 4, follow your heart. Get out of your head and follow your heart more. And number 5, maybe my favorite, be fearless. Don't whimper into this year and out of this year, wishing that you'd done something else. Be fearless this year. So you've got it. Don't know so much, cultivate wonder, allow your passion, follow your heart, and be fearless. You are the artist of your life. There is a landscape right here that you are able to paint. There is a gorgeous, gorgeous canvas for you to take your mind and splatter it all over, knowing that as you throw those ideas, as you throw those desires, as you let your passion rise up from within, and you take it in your hands and you just throw it and allow it to have that momentum and that energy, that canvas that you are looking at, you don't have to back up. You know who you are, you know what you have to offer, and you know it's right there because you are living it full throttle. That's 2020. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.